In this video, we're going to be looking at the new UniVersus CCG Godzilla Challenger Series Godzilla and Mothra deck. This is a complete deck inside this box, and actually these are some of the strongest Challenger decks that they've made yet. So if you're interested in getting into UniVersus and want a jumping on point where you can smash your opponent with the power of Godzilla, Mothra, and Mechagodzilla, this is the perfect place to start. So let's take a look at it. What's up everyone, it's Dan with Maindeck, and welcome back to another UniVersus CCG video. If you enjoy getting this UniVersus content, you like what I bring to the table here, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel below. Let me know in a comment down below that you are here, you're watching this, and that you're interested in this, because we have a lot of exciting UniVersus plans coming in the future. Today, we're just going to be taking a look at the Godzilla Challenger Series Godzilla and Mothra deck. These are set to release June 21st, this along with the other one, which is the King Ghidorah and Rodan deck. And these are, again, like I said, some of the best Challenger Series that they've made yet. So in this video, I just want to show you a little bit about what is inside this box. This isn't going to be a strategy deep dive or anything, but I want you to know what you can get when you pick this up on the shelf and at least give you a brief idea of kind of what the deck is all about. So when you crack open the Challenger Series that you buy from your LGS, you're going to get a few things in the box. Of course, we have the deck right here. We have a collector's booster pack, one of the most exciting things, and at the end of the video we will crack open our collector booster here. This is a completely sealed booster pack, so we will crack that open and see which foil alt art cards that we get in here. The artwork in this set is incredible, by the way. Very, very cool. We even have a little playmat back here. I could zoom out a little bit, but I want to keep the cards visible for you. But a very beautiful artwork that they've done for this. And then we have this little book in here, like they include in all the Challenger decks, that basically goes through all of the different cards that you get in this Challenger deck, and then lets you, kind of shows you how many copies of each one you get, and it would let you mark them off if you are looking to collect some of these, especially the alt art cards that are inside there. So just a cute little thing that they include. With the deck open, now you can see everything we have in here. The cool thing about the Godzilla decks is this is the first Challenger Series we've included 3 character cards in each one. Both decks include their namesake characters, so this has Godzilla and Mothra, and then they also include a different version of Mechagodzilla. So there are 6 Godzilla characters total in across both Challenger Series. If you're a fan of the Godzilla franchise, you are likely to at least find one of these Kaiju that you are excited to play. So this one, as it says in the box, includes Godzilla, Mothra, and then this version of Mechagodzilla. The theme in this deck that these characters will play to, and feel free to pause the video to read through. I'm only going to briefly go through these, but the theme is cards or attacks with printed difficulty 5 or greater. In other words, Godzilla wants big attacks that smash. We're not looking for those dinky little attacks. The list does include a few smaller ones just to help you string a little bit longer when you're attacking, but this Godzilla, your attacks with printed difficulty 5 or greater get +3 damage, so they're all massive. Also lets you spend momentum to reduce your checks, increase your checks when you're playing your cards to help you play those big 5-cost attacks deeper in. And then Godzilla had to have a first form that just destroys a ton of the entire board, all foundations, allowing you to once per game just level the city. And it wouldn't be Godzilla, I think, if you didn't have something like that. Mothra is a very interesting card. This is an 8-hand size character, which is not very common across this long-running game. But at the end of your start of your end phase, you have to discard a card. And then has a very interesting thing where it's almost, I feel like it's almost like wing flaps. You have to commit the character to give or reduce speed on attacks, and then you can spend momentum to re-ready Mothra, so you can do that multiple times in a turn. So really likes generating momentum. And then Mechagodzilla here, this version of Mechagodzilla is a 5-hander that lets you discard cards from your hand instead of spending momentum to pay for powerful and EX abilities. And then after you play a card with printed difficulty of 5 or greater, you get to draw a card. So very interesting card that has the ability to draw a lot of cards, but then also can spend them to pump up attacks. Now, inside the deck, you're going to get a bunch of cards, like I said. A lot of them really are going to lean towards this sort of 5 difficulty theme. And inside here, too, it's not you're not getting a full 4 of everything, but 2 Challenger decks will get you a full playset of everything. There are no 1-ofs in here. These cards like City Rampage, this is a great card just to pump up your string of giant 5 difficulty attacks. We have Gathering Energy, Awaited Build Momentum, so this is really cool for, excuse me, this is the one to draw cards. I was mixing it up, but this is the one that allows you just to find more cards as you take damage. So he takes damage and he builds up the energy, and then you can use it to find your attacks you need to win. Here's Electric Moth, great card for readying your character. These are used, of course, you can choose any of these 3 characters to run this deck as, if you're just playing it right out of the box, and they'll work for everybody, but some cards work a little better for others. Electric Moth is extremely good for Mothra. Heat Ray, this is one of the ultra rares you're going to get in here. This card is so wild. It is a 6 difficulty, 7 low for 6 with Deadlock Stun 3. So don't, I mean, it's not, I guess that's not the strongest Deadlock in the game, but it will help you if your opponent's trying to play defensively against Godzilla. And then has Enhance. It gets +1 damage for every 2 cards in your discard pile with difficulty 5 or greater, which means late in the game when you have a bunch of your attacks in the discard pile, this is a 7 low for a million damage, basically. And then has Response. After it deals damage, you get to flip 2 of your rival's foundation. So a lot of, like, there's a lot of little foundation kind of control in here, kind of starting with Godzilla's massive board wipe, but we have a few other attacks and other cards that will do that. And then we have things like History's Greatest Monster, a way to you get to ready it once per turn when you play a card with printed difficulty 5 or greater, so you get your resource management. And in Deadlock, you can give your attack throw. So if you go against, this is the one I was thinking of, if you go against Godzilla and go into Deadlock, he's just going to throw this gigantic heat ray at you, and then you can't stop that. You can't stop all the damage. Shobijin's Message is a cool way to get some breaker for some defense. Destructive Slam, this is just if your attack deals a lot, after this attack deals a lot of damage, and it is a throw itself, so it's really one they don't want to block anyway. Then it makes them destroy a foundation, some more of that control there. If after this deals damage, you get to add the top card of your deck to your momentum. So a Flying Zap, this is the one I was momentum generating one for Mothra, helps you get that momentum built up so that you can ready her more. Kaiju Clash, just a powerful 3 card, but this is a bone for the Mecha Godzilla in here that you can pitch cards from your hand to pay for that powerful to pump its damage up, but its stats are just good. This is just a 5 diff with 6 mid for 5, so it's got good stats for the cost, and it's going to work with all of their these playing 5 diff ability characters that you have. Mega Burst, this is a cool card. It's a 5 diff again, of course, 5 mid for 5. This one has Stun 0, which is, well, that doesn't seem very good. After you play this attack, it gets +1 to its stun rating for each attack in your card pool. So if you can use some of these abilities, especially things like City Rampage, to make your checks easier that turn, play the string of big, gigantic 5 diff attacks. You can imagine your Godzilla, they're all +3 damage. You can make your checks better for each one too by spending momentum. Then you throw this Mega Burst when they've been trying to hold up defense, stun out their entire board, and then destroy a foundation to make it do even more damage. This thing with Godzilla is already, if you destroy the foundation, it's a 10 damage attack. That's just like destructive. Smashing Stomp, just a really, really solid value card. Another 5 diff, of course. EX3 on this one, so you can make this go really fast to close the game out. Has Enhance. Your next check to play an attack gets +1, and after this attack deals damage, as a response, you get to draw a card. So it manages your resources, it draws you cards, and it's a low with a low block on it. Like, wow, this is good. Like, this card's really sweet. And then I'm not going to go through every single foundation in here, but a lot of these have things that will let you draw cards, manage damage. You can either do more damage. I love the artwork on this card. I love this screonk, like kind of trying to get Godzilla's howl in there. But this is a great low-cost foundation. It lets you destroy your foundations when you don't need them anymore, or to get yourself out of Deadlock to make your printed difficulty 5 attacks get +1 speed and +1 damage. That's a really strong foundation, spammable foundation destruction. We also have Moth Monster in here. This is a nice 6 check, which is really good to see. And this has Commit. This attack gets -2 speed. If you have taken damage from an attack, it gets -3 speed instead. So nice, speed control. Yeah, just tough little spam foundation, tough skin, flip it, reduce the damage. You're going to see a lot of just really solid foundations in here. This one is really cool. It is a 3 difficulty one with remove this attack. It's +X damage, where X is its printed difficulty. Now, that is a first enhance, so it has to be the first thing you do in that turn, but here's another way to throw out that giant attack that you're going to close the game on. This can hit the throws that are in here as well, or cards you give throw, and deadlock situation and give it off in +5 or even +6 damage. So that's, yeah, pretty sick. And then here we have a card, Unstoppable Force. I just want to point this one out because this uses a new mechanic that came out in the My Hero Academia Girl Power set called Deflect. So this is a card that you can use it as a block, as a 2+ block, but if you don't have the resources or something to be able to play the block, or you just don't need to because it's a low damage attack coming in at you, you can use the Deflect, which is as a response from your hand. You can add this card to your card pool after the block step in order to reduce the damage by the deflect number, which is 2 in this case. So very flexible card. It does have only a 4 check in here, but this is a card that can do a lot of work. Plus, you can use it to just return your attack to its printed speed if your opponent is trying to play speed hate against you. So that is the deck in here. You're going to be throwing gigantic attacks, building momentum, hopefully, because you really do want to have momentum for multiple of these. Really, all of these characters are cool, generating momentum. So you're trying to get those attacks in there, get that momentum, then go through your massive stomping destruction turn, take your opponent out of the game. And I think if you are a fan of Godzilla himself, Mothra, Mechagodzilla, or you just like the idea of playing these big 5 difficulty attacks, then this is going to be a really fun deck for you to pick up, and a great match if you have a friend who wants to pick up the King Ghidorah and Rodan deck as well, which we show in our other video at the end of this. Go ahead and click the link if you want to check out that one as well. Now let's, before we end this video, open up our Collector's Booster Pack and see what we get. The hits that you're looking for in here really are the character alt arts. They are quite rare and extremely cool looking, so if we're extremely lucky, we will have a character alt art in here. I don't think so, but at least we'll get to see some alt art cards and see what they're like. So we have a Ferocious Attacker. This is just a foil version, a regular art that we saw in the deck, but it's nice to have a foil version of it. We have a foil in comparable size as well. We have a foil Triple Trouble. This is, I didn't talk about this one, but this is kind of a, oh, that's because this is in the other deck. Excuse me, I forgot. I was like, why didn't I talk about this? Because the cards in these collector's packs can be from either deck. So this is one that you will see when we go over the King Ghidorah and Rodan deck in the other video. Then we got Golden Death as our unique asset here is the alternate art card we got. A card we are going to go over in detail in the King Ghidorah and Rodan deck, but you can at least see this beautiful alternate art featuring King Ghidorah here. Very, very cool. And then we have a Galactic Monster, another King Ghidorah card, and then Titanic Combat. This is one, I believe, yeah, this is one from this deck. So that is what we got. Very cool to get that really neat looking asset. And we'll just see what other cards we get in the other booster pack in the other deck as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this brief look at the Godzilla and Mothra deck. If you are a fan, again, of this franchise, you want to look out for this releasing June 21st, 2024. It'll be at your LGS. Go ahead and ask them for the UniVersus Challenger decks for Godzilla if you want to get this in. I know you will have a ton of fun playing UniVersus with this deck, and again, these cards are pretty strong. They're pretty good, so you can totally hit up your locals and just play with the deck as it is, and you are able to score wins with this deck for sure. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.